What's up, guys? Chris Blevins here. Welcome back to the channel. Got something a little different for you today. The Hobie's in the shop. Pro Angler rudder cable broke. I wasn't able to fix it in time, so lucky I got a good friend. His name's Paul Elder. He's a local kayak fishing pioneer, very well-known artist from Ballast Point Brewing. He let me borrow his Prowler 15, which is a kayak that I used to have. This kayak's seen some fish in its day, so let's take a look at it. We got no fish finder, we got no bait tank, we got no seat, no rudder. All I got is jig stick with a surface iron and a fly liner. So if I catch a mackerel on the iron, I'll stick it on my fly line and troll that. We're flying completely blind. I'm just gonna go off of what I can see visually from the birds, bait on the surface, maybe get a couple casts on them with a jig stick. Or maybe just paddle around in circles for a long time. I got an extra Rapala. I might tie on a Rapala on the fly line if we aren't able to make any live bait. But yeah, this should be interesting, guys. My wife is taking out my my Jackson Kayak Kraken. She's got the fish finder and the bait tank, normal setup. But I'm taking the OG ride. This is how kayak fishing originated in La Jolla. Back in the days, you didn't need a fish finder, you didn't need a bait tank, you don't need, you know, $1,500 instruments or $1,000 rod and reel combos. Let's go out there with a Shimano TLD 15, a hook, a paddle. Maybe we can catch a yellowtail. I've done this before, you guys. You guys might have seen the video where I caught, actually caught a yellowtail on the first cast. Paddled out with no fish finder, no bait tank, just 2 poles and an empty blank Prowler, and ended up catching a 20-pound yellowtail. Thousands of dollars in kayak gear to go out there and catch these, you know, trophy fish. You could pick up a Prowler for 400 bucks on Craigslist, maybe less. You know, get yourself a decent paddle, get a couple of poles and a PFD, and you guys are out there, man. So don't let the money hold you back. First thing you need to do is just spend time on the water. Get out there, learn the conditions, learn the surf launch, learn La Jolla, learn the spots, and you can work your way up to those bigger kayaks. Trust me, I didn't start off, you know, when I started kayak fishing, I didn't start off, you know, in a pedal kayak with a fish finder and like all these nice poles. I just went out there and fished. So you guys get out there. All right, guys, this is pretty cool. You guys probably seen my old videos where I have the gray X Factor. I ended up selling it to a coworker, and then I just saw my old kayak on the beach. My coworker's brother now has it. It's pretty dope. Let's check it out. We made it through the surf. We're out here past the reserve line, seeing some birds working around, a little bit of bait splashing on the surface. So a little bit of visual sign on the surface that I might be able to throw the surface iron at. Lindsay's got the fish finder. She says she's seeing a couple bait clouds down there, but I'm gonna try to key in on the fish without using too much info from the fish finder. Yeah, so I'm out here, I got 2 poles, I got no fish finder, I got no seat, I got no bait tank, I got a surface iron and a fly line. So hopefully I can snag a mackerel on the surface iron, put it on the fly line, and go trolling around. But man, it feels really good to paddle this thing. I have to say, I have not paddled a boat like this in so long. Just feel really connected to the water. It's really fast and feels really stable, honestly. My center of gravity is so low that, you know, I feel like I couldn't even tip over if I wanted to. But anyway, we're on the hunt right now. Gonna find some bait on the surface and hopefully get to throw the jig at him. So let's take a look. All right, guys, one of the local guys gave me a greenback, so I got one bait to use. No bait tank, but I got one bait. I got it on a fly liner on a 4/0 ring circle hook. I'll show you guys how to put out a fly liner when you're in a paddle kayak instead of a pedal kayak. So I'm just gonna give him a little line here, kind of see which way the current's going. All right, a little bit of line. I'm gonna put the bait clicker on, out of gear, put it in the rod flipper. Start paddling. I'm just gonna paddle until the bait is well behind me. All right, and then I'm just gonna reach back and take the clicker off and it'll send it back further. All right, so clicker's off. I'm just kind of coasting. And I'm just gonna put the clicker back on and then keep paddling. I'm going to keep repeating that, just reaching back and taking the clicker off, paddling a little more. Just want to make sure that it's not backlashing as the mackerel's taking out line. I can reach back and kind of thumb it a little bit, clicker back on, and I'll just keep repeating that until I got it back about 100 feet to 150 feet behind the boat. Some of the guys have seen some yellowtail on the meter here, but I have not seen any sign on the surface, so haven't got anything to cast my jig at yet, but I'm hoping that hopefully there's some bait under here, and these birds should show me when the yellowtail come up and start to feed. So all right, we're trolling our fly liner, and we're gonna just kind of work around the whole area looking for the sign of the fish on the surface, something we can throw our surface iron at as we drag our fly line greenback. So stay on the move here. Fly line out. You can see it's a ways back. I can see some head shakes. I can see some little tail kicks on the on my mackerel. I know he's lively and swimming. Also, I got my basically reel out of gear with a clicker on, so that if a yellowtail hits it, it can take line. If it does hit, I'm going to take the clicker off, let it take line for about a 7 to 10 count before I put it in gear and set the hook. All right, guys, it's about, actually, I don't know what time it is. What is it, like 11, 10, 12, maybe? I don't know. Sometime around the middle of the day. We got overcast conditions and light onshore wind out of the west at like maybe 5 to 7 miles an hour. So a little lumpy and kind of gray, but overall really nice fishable conditions. You guys come down here this time of year, you got to be careful with this, we call it the June gloom. You get this marine layer. It's still kind of hot and muggy but cloudy, but you can get really sunburnt through this layer because the UV just comes right through here. So if you're out here and you're like in the cloudiness, it seems cloudy, kind of overcast marine layer, be careful with your sun protection and your sunscreen because you can get toasted through the conditions like this. I mean, you can see the sun directly above me. Just UV comes right through that, so make sure you keep your sun protection on and you're using your sunscreen when you're in these June gloom conditions, because you could get burnt real bad. All right, guys, let's go over the surface iron setup that I'm using. Surface iron is obviously a light iron. Here I'm using a Sumo 7X chrome, tied on with a Palomar knot, and that is on 40-pound mono. I got about 100 feet of 40-pound mono, top shot on top of 65-pound braid on this Saltis BG 40H. The rod's a Seeker Elua 9.3, rated to 60 pound. Let's do a cast real quick. You guys probably won't be able to see where it lands, but I'll just show you. You know, I got a pretty tight casting brick's pretty tight here. I'm going to be casting this kind of downside wind, so it's really going to go. Let's see. Ready. I almost cast the leader off. Like I said, there's about, actually I'm not sure how much top shot's on there, but there is a good amount of top shot on there. Just about enough that I can't readily cast off the top shot, but it's pretty much down to the braid on a good cast. And with a really good cast, I will end up casting the entire top shot off probably. So these are somewhat high speed ratio reels, and I'm just kind of doing a slow wind here. I'm just kind of want my jig to swim on the surface. If I pull this too fast, it'll skip on the surface, or it'll, worse yet, it'll twist my mono. So I'm just doing a slow, lazy retrieve here, kind of blind fishing this surface iron, and just kind of swimming it back to the boat. Don't know how deep we are, don't have a fish finder, so I feel like we're probably in somewhere between 100 and 120 feet, something like that. All right, guys, we've been trolling our fly line for a couple hours now. Let's go ahead and check him tied with a reverse Albright. All right, mackerel looks juicy. Guys, I don't have a GPS or a fish finder, but you don't necessarily need all that gear to know where you're at. You can see the shore right here, and you can see there's various buildings, different colors, different shapes and sizes. Seems like everybody refers to every building as the condo, but the condo is actually the big one that we're right in front of right now. Then you got La Valencia, and you got La Jolla Financial Building. All I really got to do is just find a lineup, line 2 buildings up, or line up a palm tree on one of the buildings, or basically find some lineup with the shore that'll tell me where I'm at least in one direction, so I can tell if I'm east or west of it. And you just try to find a landmark on the shore and try to just use that as a point of reference, so that if you do get bit, you can kind of roughly know kind of the rough area where that you were in. Also, I don't know what depth I'm in, but I'm just drifting with my fly liner, and I'm gonna make some blind casts here with the surface iron, and I'll probably give it like another. We'll probably be finishing up here pretty soon, so hopefully we'll get a bite. Basically, just wanted to come out here on a short paddling trip and maybe snag one, so I'll probably be headed in soon. But it's looking pretty good. We got some downhill current. And basically all the boats left, so kind of got it all to ourselves, except for this big yacht up here in front of us. Pretty much the only boat around. All right, well, let's hope we can pull one out in the 9th inning. All right, guys, I got some turns working out to the north of me over the canyon, upwind. I'm gonna push into this wind for a little bit and see if I can catch up to them. They're moving pretty fast. I doubt I'll get them, but let's see if we can catch up to them. All right, there's bait popping around on the surface here. Haven't seen any bigger splashes, but this is the area that those birds were working. I got my fly line out still, and it seems like the birds have kind of dissipated, so maybe missed a shot there. All right, we're on the edge of the reserve lines. I'm gonna release my fly liner. He's been swimming on my line for about 4 hours now. And he's still lively and spunky, so I do thank him very much for his service today. Regrettably, I cannot feed him to a large game fish. so he will live to slime another day. Yep. All right, let's get headed in. All right, guys, thanks for joining in again. Didn't get the yellowtail. Had a nice time paddling around, fishing with a simple kayak, simple gear, not a lot of frills, not a lot of batteries and stuff to bring along. Just get out there with a jig and a fly line, and you know, we could have easily caught one. Unfortunately, didn't get it this time. But if you want to check out a video where I'm fishing this, pretty much this exact same setup, and I end up getting a nice yellowtail, check out this video on this link here. I'll go ahead and put a link to the video here and in the description. Yeah, man, you guys get out here and just do it. You guys can do it. You could come out here just like this, fish just like this all day this summer, and you could catch yellowtail on your first trip to La Jolla. It does work, even though I'm not producing on these tutorial videos for you guys. But all right, we're gonna come in through the surf. Surf looks really mellow, but since I don't have a rod holder for the jig stick, I'm gonna go ahead and cut off the iron so I don't accidentally stick myself. All right, so we'll push in and we'll see you guys at the launch.